Hello there and welcome to an episode of Rantz. It's Crisandro, and the season has now officially ended for us, for both the men and the women. And you have to say, unless you're really hard-hearted, you have to say that's been a cracking season for both. I mean, for the men, especially we have to laugh at the doom and gloom that followed Ange signing and Kane leaving, the greatest goal scorer of all time, as he's been dubbed, especially by Spurs fans, and the doom and gloom that followed his leaving and then signing on. And for the women, I don't know if there was too much expectation when Robert Vellerham signed on, I guess because a lot of people didn't actually know too much about him, but you can say that we actually did a lot better than many people thought. I mean, the season before we just avoided relegation, despite getting to, I think, 2 quarter-finals in a row. In both occasions, I think, just outdone by better sides. So it's kind of a season of rebuilding, of course, and it has reflected that way in many other results that we have had this season. Both the men and the women have taken some huge tonkings, but at the same time also had some big victories of our own. So it's been kind of mixed. We'll start with the men, of course. Over the weekend, went to Bramall Lane for the final game of the season. That was just my poor planning, where I actually got tickets for the women's game as well, the game at the Tottenham Stadium against West Ham. But I booked the travel on the Saturday like an idiot, and not late on in the day, literally right in the morning. So I had to miss that one. Although I knew that we were going to put on quite a show. We ended the season against West Ham again, like we did the season before, where we drew, but this time we actually tonked them. But on to the men's, where we played Sheffield United. Didn't go to the Man City game. Didn't really talk about the Man City game either, as already let my feelings known on the group, and also mentioned it as well on here as before in the last week, that I just didn't want to be in a situation where I'm surrounded by Spurs fans cheering Man City on, and I was quite frankly disgusted by it. I know that people are defending and deflecting, defending the cheering, saying that you have to understand the rivalry. I understand the rivalry. Doesn't mean that I like it. Doesn't mean that I'll participate in it. And also the deflecting, where it's like we're in a bad run of form, 5 defeats in the last 7 games, 5 defeats in the last 6. You know, sort your own house in order, Mr. Postecoglou, which is quite frankly pathetic in my eyes. Just in my eyes, and just that's why I'm keeping it. It is a case of just living in of our rivals living rent-free in our heads. That's why I say it. And it's small club mentality, and that's how it's going to be. And then it continued at Bramall Lane when as news of Man City winning their game trickled through, and it was just, we didn't really want to talk too much about it, but I'll focus on the game and beating Sheffield United 3-0. I think that's only our 6th clean sheet of the season, as it were. And what a way to do it. We played very well, but we had enough chances. To the Sheffield United, actually, I know that it's good to see Brereton Diaz. I know he's included the Diaz in his surname because he's a Chilean international, and you can see why Chile wanted him to play, because his movement, his touch, his striking, fantastic. I mean, he should have scored one where he was close. He was only a few yards out from goal, but he blasted it over. And that was but he tormented us, and I think he also had another chance as well, which was just narrowly wide. But he tormented us quite a bit. So if this was a few years ago and we were shopping around that market, I would say I wouldn't mind us picking him up. But it is what it is. Good player. But for us, it wasn't too bad a performance. I mean, played the game that we wanted to play, played the style that we wanted to play as well. And 2 goals for Kulusevski, and one thunderbolt from Pedro Porro. Well, and also had other opportunities as well. One that I remember that sticks in my mind is Brennan Johnson missing from a yard out, just blasted it over. But a lot of people try to say that he's a bit of a flop, but that's what I was going to come to. But his stats: 14 goal involvements in his first season, learning a new role. Kind of shut them up. He was our second most provider of goals and assists overall, Son being number 1. So first season did very well. Over the course of the season, I have to say it's been a very good one. I mean, obviously a lot's been made of Kane leaving 24 hours before the campaign starts, and for some reason, especially certain famous pundits had us down as struggling to even stay in the league, let alone being in the top half of the table. You know how hyperbole works. But I guess for the first 10 games, which started off with 8 wins and 2 draws, I think it was, and we were riding high at the top. I think we were 5 points clear before we played Chelsea, where we had a couple sent off, and then had 2 major injuries. So, but this is where I guess the issues with people come in, because we had a good summer where we signed quite a few players, but injuries happened, and it wasn't really our full team. It's still a rebuild, so we were building little by little. You know what I mean? I don't think any team, apart from Nottingham Forest, has brought in around about 17 or 18 players in one go. And in their case, has it worked out? I mean, since they've done that, they've all been relegated the last 2 seasons. So it's a case of slowly catching monkey. That sort of thing, where we kind of build up the team slowly as best we can. And we started off the season very well, and then all came crumbling against Chelsea, where lost 4-1. Well, 2-1 down after the last inning. I think it was Udogie that was sent off, having to stretch for a challenge after making a good challenge, and he had to stretch for the ball. Got a second yellow card, and then Jackson scoring his hat-trick very, very late on. But then, because of the injuries and because of the suspensions, we then lose the next, I think, 3 out of the next 4 games, I think it was. So we lose top spot. And it's been forms have been mixed throughout. Players playing without confidence or just playing out of form. I mean, Maddison was injured really badly in that Chelsea game, and he's since he come back, it's only been the last month or so where he's kind of looked his best self. Same with Bissouma, who was also I think he was sent off in a couple of games later against Luton, where 2 yellow cards, I think it was. And I think that knocked his confidence or something along those lines, because he felt he's not really a number 6, as we know. He's all a box-to-box kind of player, and I guess that kind of knocked his confidence as to whether he can play that kind of his style in that 6th position. But he doesn't play the box-to-box for us. I mean, which would be the ideal kind of thing, where he'll flip between, in that double pivot with the other and with his number 6 partner, which usually is Pat Matasar at that point. But he lost his form, lost his confidence, and that's what kind of happens. And it's only just in the last month or so that he kind of found his way back. And when you are kind of open in midfield like that, and lacking confidence like that, you need other players to kind of come in and step up, and that's kind of where we were found wanting, because we didn't really have the type of players to bring off the bench. I mean, Højbjerg wasn't trusted that much. Skippy was hardly played. So we did kind of struggle a little bit, and the results kind of reflected that really, really badly, really, you could say. And so for the remainder of the season, for the next few months, it was kind of up and down, the results. But during that time, we never never fell out of the top 5, you know. So that shows that there is a certain level of consistency. It's just a case of building that consistency to a point where we are winning consistently, as opposed to just picking up points here and there consistently. And that's going to come in time. And yes, obviously the last 10 games or so hasn't been what we want to see. But at the same time, you understand there's a rebuild, you know. It was never going to be a case of we'll bring in 1 or 2 players and suddenly we're just going to be like FIFA and just hit every metric you want. It was never going to happen. But yeah, at least we ended on the high, you know, and the cut would have been the league top 5. I mean, I was just happy to be as high as possible. If we were going to win the title, and that's kind of went out after November, then as high as we can. So I'm good. As you know, I'm good. And it's all about trying to challenge or trying to get as close to the title next season. That's what we got to aim for. So the league, yeah, we did okay. We qualified for the league. In the cups, yeah, it was kind of mixed. I mean, people are, the same people who are cheering Manchester City in our own stadium. They kind of use the excuse that I'm just seeing a crow eating a dead rabbit. Weird things you see in this area, these ends, man. Don't blame me. Anyway, yeah. So maybe that's a metaphor. I have no idea. So we, yeah, the League Cup obviously went out to Fulham. Played a lot of players that hadn't been playing that regularly. I mean, yeah, it was a strong enough side. Solomon actually did okay in that, from what I remember. Højbjerg played as well, but it wasn't his best, I don't think, if I can remember rightly. And we lost on penalties. But you know, people are going to say that Postecoglou threw the game, so I have the right to cheer Manchester City winning the title in my own stadium. It's pathetic. But so we didn't do too well around the opening round of the League Cup. FA Cup was marginally better. We went out in the 4th round to Manchester City, a game where you remember the Champions League quarter-final against Manchester City, where City just came over to our place and sat back and defended. Do you remember that? Son scoring a winner there. But City offered no threat going forward whatsoever. That's kind of like how that game was. Literally no threat at all going forward. They scored in the last second of the game through fouling the keeper. I was still maintaining that's a foul. That was the only goal that they scored. I think it was Rodri that scored it. And then from then on, every team saw that you could basically nullify our defending from corners, because we played kind of zonal. Nullify the defending by having a man on the goalkeeper and blocking him off. So that happened for the next few games, and we were conceding daft goals from that position. Yeah, that happened. But we soon kind of rectified that, didn't we? I mean, the last game we just saw Sonny kind of marking out, who was it? That was their main defender who was trying to affect our goalkeeper, marking him out and completely pushing him out. He was sent off later in that game, but then reinstated. It was then begins a B, I can't quite remember. So that was that, and yeah, FA Cup went out early. No Europe, of course, so that meant we were just left to challenge, well, to compete in the league, and it is what it was. I mean, still trying to put together a philosophy, and yeah, we did our bit, and in the end, we, yeah, finished in Europe, which nobody thought we were going to do. So, you know, what else are you expecting? I mean, the fact that, the people saying, wow, finished that high without your main striker? Bloody hell. Last season, with our main striker, we finished 8th. So without him, we finished 5th. What does that tell you? I'll leave you to figure that one out. And then for the women, I mean, last season, it's been a great season this season, as we said. Last season was kind of poor in the league, Yeah, we we survived in the penultimate game after beating Reading 4-1, which sent them down. And but yeah, that was nail biting all the way through. We just had some results that were just absolutely poor. And then, but in the Conti Cup, we did well. I think we got to the quarterfinals as well as the FA Cup. We got to the quarterfinals. So it was kind of a mixed season, really. But this season, yeah, we were just basically studying ourselves, like with the men, learning a new style, learning a new way of playing, new expectations. And yeah, we took some tonkings because of that. I mean, losing 7-0 at Manchester City does kind of rankle somewhat. And then the following week, getting done 4-0 at home by Manchester United. That scoreline against Manchester United will follow us again later on. But yeah, we did well, and they picked up enough points. We finished mid-table, which is all you can kind of expect, really, and did very well. I mean, Liverpool, I think, came straight up and finished a good few points ahead of us, so that's something we have to look out for. But again, it's an implementation of a new style, new way of playing, and trying to instill a confidence and instill a new mentality. That's literally what we're doing. So yeah, that kind of that worked in our favour there. And there have been some memorable games as well. And when I say memorable, I do mean memorable. Beating Arsenal for the first time in our history. Beating them 1-0 at home, and the game was played at their Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Martha Thomas scoring a brilliant winner. Great team goal. Great finish. And the keeper could not stop it. So that was a brilliant moment. But yeah, our defeats to Arsenal haven't been that crazy. I mean, usually we get humped, don't we? But the away game, we only lost 1-0. Then we just went there to defend and try and stifle them, and it kind of worked, really. Lost 1-0 in the Conti Cup. We drew 3-3 with them, I think. Lost on penalties, which meant that they got the bonus point, and that kind of hurt us as well, because it meant we qualified. But in the knockout stages, we got Manchester City, which we only narrowly lost 1-0 to. So yeah, and then in the FA Cup, this is all within the same week as well, playing them in the league. Well, same 2 weeks, playing them in the league. We all lost 7-0 at theirs. Then in the Conti Cup, lost 1-0 at ours. And then the FA Cup a few days later, where we actually drew 1-1 and beat them on penalties. Lucky equaliser as well, because that was in the last second. But yeah, so got all the way there. Quarterfinals, beat them, and then the semi-final against Leicester. That was fantastic. It was a very, very late goal in extra time as well that won it. And then, but got to the final, our first ever FA Cup final, and I have to say that yeah, didn't go according to plan. It was yeah, it was a bit of a tonking against the Manchester United side, who were making their second appearance of the second straight season in an appearance in the FA Cup final. They beat us 4-0. That scoreline will follow us again. And so yeah, they got their first ever trophy. Hopefully next season that means that we'll get ours. If logic follows, we'll regroup and get back out there. They have to make a few changes. We're still building, so yeah. So I mean, this season ended on a high note as well. We scored 3 goals against West Ham, beating them 3-1, and set down a marker for next season. So on both accounts, we've been brilliant. We have to say we've been brilliant, and yeah, and the youth team as well. I mean, I haven't really covered them too much, but the under 21s are through to the Premier League 2 final after beating Chelsea 2-1. We play, I want to say, is it Bournemouth? Was it Sheffield United? One of the two. I haven't checked that final. I haven't checked that semi-final yet. But so yeah, I mean, all the teams are going great guns, playing the same kind of way, same skill, same mentality. That's what we're trying to instill across the board, and that's kind of working well. So yeah, am I happy about the season? I mean, it's all come to an end now. Am I happy for the season? Hell yeah, I'm happy. So much so that I've already booked the hotel in Bilbao for the Europa League final. I'm that confident. So yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to next season. Looking forward to the summertime for both teams, both the men and the women, to see who we'll bring in, see who will make some changes, and yeah, see what comes about. But Yeah, I mean, I've had to shut my ears a lot to a lot of what has been going on around Spurs from fans within the group and outside the group as well, because I don't want to have my confidence destroyed in this team, and because I can see what we're building, I can see the direction that we're heading, and it's looking good. People want to be doom mongers. They can be doom mongers. They can do what they like, but I am happy with how with what we've done this season. There have been some games where we've kind of drawn or lost. That's how we shouldn't have. We've fallen behind in a lot of games. I'm talking about the men here. Fallen behind in a lot of games as well after dominating the early stages. And yeah, obviously that will come in time with a bit more experience and a bit more confidence, you know. So I'm happy. I'm happy with how it's all ended. For the men, for the women as well. You know, we played very well. We've tried to assert ourselves. We dominated in terms of possession for most games, and you know, we got to a cup final. What more can you ask for? So yeah, what can we do next season? More of the same? Go one step further? Who knows? But it is exciting times. Exciting times at Tottenham. Yeah, let me know. Let me know what you think. Is it a good time to be a Spurs fan, or are you for what's happening? Are you against it? Let me know. But yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, let me know what you thought of the season. Come on, you Spurs! Cannot wait for the summertime already. Cannot wait.